During the military training's evening party, the instructor urged me to sing a love song with my childhood friend Zhou. Zhou scoffed coldly and slammed the guitar hard onto the lawn. Singing with her? I'm afraid I'll go deaf on the spot. Lin Sinian sings like a lark. Her voice sounds like a rooster crowing. And she also looks like a potato. I find it embarrassing. Let her sing it herself. Don't interfere. He raised his chin proudly amidst the crowd's laughter. But in my head, his inner voice rang on time. Ah, I can finally duet a love song with my wife. Round it up. It's the wedding march. Except for me. No one else should hear my wife sing. My wife can belong to me alone. I have to appear a bit unruly and untamed, so she can't see that I like her. Or else I lose. I looked at the flicker of excitement in his eyes and only felt tired. If love can only be used to hurt others to cover it up, then I would rather not have it. I didn't hesitate to turn around and reach out my hand toward the tall, handsome Special Forces instructor. Captain Chen, would you be willing to sing a song with me? The whole room drew a cold breath. The instructor reddened at the ears and gripped my hand. In that moment, the sneering smile at Zhou's lips froze solid. The whole field drew in a breath. Zhou's mocking smile tightened and froze. Instructor Chen's palm was hot, the pads of his fingers with thin calluses, held gently as if afraid I would back out. The playground fell silent for 2 seconds. Then the jeers erupted louder. Damn, he actually dared to. Qin Jixia is awesome. Just slapped the instructor directly. Wasn't Zhou embarrassed earlier? Now he doesn't have to be anymore. Zhou stood in the middle of the lawn, with the guitar he had just thrown down beside his feet. His expression gradually darkened, though his lips still stubbornly curled with mockery. Qin Jixia, you really are not picky. Before I could say anything, his voice echoed in my mind. Did she hold someone else's hand? Isn't it? How could she hold someone else's hand? That's my spot. She's definitely doing it on purpose to annoy me. She cares about me the most. And even in the past she would come to me first if she couldn't even twist off a bottle cap. I looked at him, unimpressed. Since childhood, Zhou has always been like this. I complain with my mouth, but in my heart I say I'm cute. I say I'm stupid with my mouth, but in my heart I praise my hard work. I belittle myself to nothing with my mouth, but in my heart I call myself wife over and over. But only I can hear those inner thoughts. What others hear is always his malice. Instructor Chen asked me in a low voice, "What can you sing?" My gaze is Little Fortune, okay? Instructor Chen's ears turned a bit red. Sure. Zhou sneered. Coach Chen, if you still want your ears, don't try to be a hero. A few guys beside him laughed along. Zhou, you're being too harsh. If Qin Jixia really sings off-key, will the coach get workers' compensation? I tightened my grip on the microphone. Instructor Chen turned his head and glanced at them. His voice was not loud, yet it silenced everyone. Military training night is for relaxation, not for making jokes about your classmates. Zhou's expression grew even uglier. Why did he defend her? Honey, look at me for a second. I wasn't trying to be mean just now. I was just afraid if she sang too well, someone else would take a liking to her. I didn't look at him. As the accompaniment started, the night breeze blew in from the far end of the playground. I opened my mouth and sang the first line. My voice wasn't loud, but it was steady. Those who had been waiting to see a joke gradually quieted down. Instructor Chen picked up the next line, his voice low, carrying a touch of that distinct military clarity. None of us looked at anyone else. We just focused on finishing the song. The last sentence falls, and the applause on the playground is very enthusiastic. A girl whispers, Qin Jixia sings very nicely. Does Zhou have a problem? Is this a rooster crowing? That sentence hit Zhou like a slap across the face. He bent down to pick up the guitar, his knuckles turning white from clenching too hard. As I walked past him, he reached out and grabbed my wrist. Qin Jixia, are you done playing around yet? I stop. Let go. Zhou stared at me, anger pressing in his eyes. What do you mean today? But another set of voices ran through my mind. She wouldn't talk to me like this before. Did I just overstate things? But if I don't say it that way, others will know I like her. I looked at the hand of his that was gripping my wrist. When I was a kid and scraped my knee, or when I had a fever in high school, this was the same hand that pulled me up and touched my forehead. Even as he complained about the trouble, I could tell he was anxious enough inside to want to cry. I forgave him countless times because of this. But now, I just feel tired. I slowly pulled my hand back. Zhou, I'm not playing. I just don't want to pretend with you anymore. Zhou froze. The next second, the assembly sounded. Instructor Chen was standing not far away, watching us. I turned around and rejoined the formation. Behind him, Zhou's inner monologue was devoid of the messy excitement it usually carried, leaving only one sentence echoing repeatedly. Does she not want me anymore? The next morning during training, Zhou deliberately positioned himself beside me. Instructor Chen inspected our military stance and paused in front of me. Why are your wrists red? I instinctively pulled my hands deeper into my sleeves. Zhou's gaze immediately fell. Did it turn red? I grabbed her yesterday and felt pain? Her skin is too tender. Even a touch leaves a mark. Shall we buy medicine for her? No. It's too obvious. But what he spoke aloud was, Drill Instructor Chen is quite strict. Does the military training also check skincare? Someone in the ranks snickered. Drill Instructor Chen looked up at him. Zhou, step out. Zhou lazily stepped forward. Yes. 30 push-ups. Zhou's face froze. Why? In the ranks. Talking back to the instructor. 30. If you ask again. 50. Zhou stared at him for a few seconds, then finally lay down. When I was doing push-ups, her gaze kept sweeping toward me. Why doesn't she look at me? In the past, whenever I was punished, she would secretly pass me water. Is she still mad about that line about potatoes last night? But when she was little, her face was round, obviously very cute. I looked straight ahead. The sunlight stung my eyes, making them ache, but I didn't move. After training ended, everyone went to the cafeteria. As soon as I sat down, a bottle of iced water appeared next to my tray. Zhou stood behind me, tone awkward. I bought too much. Strawberry-flavored soda. I have never liked soda since childhood. It gives me a stomachache when I drink it. But Lin Xinian likes it. Lin Xivon was the company's military training goddess. And just last night, Zhou had publicly praised her for singing like a lark. I didn't pick up. Give it to someone else. Zhou frowned. Qin Shixia. That's enough. But in his heart, he was terribly aggrieved. She used to smirk whenever she took things from me. I picked the pinkest bottle. Why doesn't she want it? I picked up the chopsticks, just about to eat, when Lin Xinian carried the tray over. Zhou, didn't you say this bottle was for me? Her voice was soft, but her gaze landed straight on my face. Xixia, don't get me wrong. He just asked me at the convenience store what flavor I liked, and I casually said strawberry. Zhou froze momentarily. He took the water back and shoved it into Lin Xinian's arms. Just a bottle of water. How come you girls are making such a fuss about this? The voice in my head was frustrated to death. It's over. It's over. My wife will definitely misunderstand. I just wanted to test her jealousy a bit by using Lin Xinian. I lowered my head and took a bite of rice. The food was a bit cold, and my stomach felt heavy as I swallowed. Lin Xinian sat beside Zhou, smiling as she twisted open the bottle. Xixia, you and Instructor Chen sang really well last night. But after all, he's an instructor. It's better for you to be a bit more careful, or people will talk. Zhou immediately responded, as if he had finally caught onto something. Hear that? Stop thinking about showing off all day. I put down my chopsticks. I just sang a song. Zhou sneered coldly. That's calling singing? That's just using the chance to get close to him. A few classmates in the cafeteria turned to look. My fingertips curled slightly. His inner voice trembled urgently. No, that's not what I meant. I'm just jealous. Don't be sad, wife. Foully scold me. argue with me like before. I pick up the dinner tray and stand up. Zhou Yu, from now on don't buy me things. And don't talk to me. His face sank. Qin Jixia. What mood are you throwing a fit for? I have a stomachache. I don't want to hear you talk. After finishing speaking, I turned and walked away. As I reached the entrance of the cafeteria, I heard the sound of a chair being pushed aside from behind. Zhou Yu took 2 steps forward, but Lin Xinian called him back. Zhou Yu, I think I twisted my ankle. His steps stopped. I do not look back. But his inner voice collapsed into a jumbled mess at that moment. Her stomach hurts? Kosai sleep fell. I can't ignore it. Jixia is so sensible. She will surely wait for my explanation. I clenched the edge of the dining plate. It turns out that being sensible can be this cheap. Before the afternoon drill, Instructor Chen handed me a box of stomach medicine. Take it after meals. Not on an empty stomach. I was moments of stunned silence. He didn't explain much, only placing the medicine into the palm of my hand. Last night when you sang, your breath stayed steady, not like what they say. A very ordinary sentence, but it made my nose tingle with sourness. From childhood to now, Zhou Yu often belittled me in public, and I endlessly tried to make up for it in my heart. I really believed it once. Believed that he was just being stubborn. Believed that those harsh words were him clumsily liking me. Until now, someone has quietly told me, you're not that bad. I put away the medicine. Thank you, Instructor Chen. A voice from behind. Instructor Chen is quite special to female students. I turned around and saw him standing in the shade of a tree, with a water bottle slung over his shoulder, his gaze as cold as ice. Lin Xinian stood beside him, a medicated patch on her ankle, whispering, Zhou Yu, don't talk nonsense. The instructor also cares about the students. Zhou Yu let out a laugh. Caring enough to send medicine? His inner voice was sharp and panicked. How did he know she had a stomachache? Whenever she wasn't feeling well before, the first person she looked for was me. I looked at him, because even if I say it, you won't listen. Zhou Yu's expression stiffened. Lin Xinian immediately lowered her head, reprimanding herself. Jixia, are you mad at me? My foot twisted at noon. That's why Zhou Yu accompanied me to the infirmary. After she finished speaking, she gently tugged Zhou Yu's sleeve. Don't be upset because I argued with Jixia. I'll feel bad. Zhou Yu frowned, retracting his sleeve, yet still looking at me. Xin Jixia, your sleeping foot twisted. And you insist on nitpicking at a time like this? Am I being petty? I just didn't swallow my discomfort and pretend nothing happened like before. After the training began, we walked along the mountain road toward the training ground. Lin Xinian walked less than a kilometer before saying her feet hurt. When Zhou Yu carried her, the people around began to jeer again. You Zhou Yue, you're so good to see me on. Does Xin Jixia even get jealous? Someone deliberately handed me the words. Zhou Yu turned to look at me, with a teasing tone. What is she jealous about? She's been like this since she was small, thick-skinned. The voice in my head isn't like this. Wife. Quickly get jealous. Quickly scold me. As soon as she speaks, I will immediately let Lin Xinian go. I step on the gravel and move forward, the sole of my shoe grinding, making my heel ache. Lin Xinian lay sprawled on Zhou Yu's back, turning to smile at me. Xia, don't be angry. Zhou Yu used to carry you on his back a lot, right? She knew very well that it wasn't true. Zhou Yu had carried me only once. He joked that I was heavy as a pig, but deep down he disliked how light I was. I once laughed and forgave it back then. Looking back now, it's quite ridiculous. After walking for another half hour, the heels of my feet were completely worn away. Blood stained my socks, and every step hurt. When Instructor Chen found out, he immediately ordered the team to rest where they were. He crouched down for a look, frowning. Why didn't you say anything? I pulled down my pant leg. I can walk. Zhou Yu stood nearby with Lin Xinian on his back, his expression grim. Why put on this strongman act? He opened his mouth, But his inner thoughts spoke first. Does it hurt? I want to carry her. But Lin Simeon is still on my back. If I put her down now, will people think I care about Shinjixia? After a few seconds, what he said was, just say it earlier. Why drag everyone down? I'm too lazy to even scream in pain. Instructor Chen stood up. Shinjixia, let me take you back to the infirmary. Zhou Yu's face changed. No need. Lin Simeon interjected softly. Zhou Yu. My feet hurt. Zhou Yu's fingers froze at the curve of her leg. He looked at me, as if waiting for me to speak, but I just got up by holding onto Instructor Chen's arm. Thank you for your help. Instructor Chen took my backpack and slowed his pace to walk back with me. After walking a few steps, Zhou Yu lowered his voice behind me. Shinjixia. I don't turn back. His inner voice followed, mingling with the mountain wind, almost a bit embarrassed. Don't go. If you look back at me once, I will come over. Just one glance was enough. But I walked steadily, never once looking back. There was only one bright light in the medical room. Instructor Chen handed me the cotton swab, his voice low. It will hurt a bit. I nodded. The moment the potion touched the wound, my fingers clenched tightly. Instructor Chen stopped. If it hurts, just say so. It's not shameful. I hesitated for a moment. Before, Zhou Yu always said I was overly sensitive, and after a while, I learned not to complain about the pain. Halfway through the bandaging, the door was pushed open. Zhou Yu stood there, sweat on his forehead, breathing slightly hurried. Lin Simeon didn't follow. He saw Instructor Chen crouching half in front of me, his expression instantly darkening. Shinjixia, you sure know how to find someone to take care of you. Instructor Chen stood up. She sprained her foot. Zhou Yu stared at the gauze in his hand, sneering. She seems in great spirits to me. She can sing, endure drills, and even get the instructor to dress her wound personally. But internally, he was flustered in a way that didn't suit him. Bleeding. How did it become like this? I should have let go of Lin Simeon just now. Why didn't I? I looked up at him. What are you here for? Zhou Yu seemed stabbed. Can't I come? He took out a box of band-aids from his pocket and slapped it heavily on the table. Bringing this to you so you don't have to bother others. The edges of the band-aid were already crumpled. I whispered, it's not necessary. Zhou Yu's expression darkened. Shinjixia, could you stop pretending? I'm already here. I hadn't answered yet when Lin Simeon appeared at the doorway. Her eyes were red, and she was leaning on the door frame. Zhou Yu, how could you leave me there by myself? Everyone's watching me laugh. Zhou Yu's body stiffened. Lin Simeon saw the band-aids on the desk, and tears fell immediately. So you came to find Xixia after all. She turned and walked away. Zhou Yu instinctively took 2 steps forward, then stopped, looking back at me. Don't go, Shinjixia. I'll come back after I finish dealing with Lin Simeon. She is so sensible. She will wait for me. The words he spoke were still. Stay here. Don't wander off. I watch him. Zhou Yu. I won't wait for you. He frowned, as if he didn't understand. What are you up to again? I didn't say anything more. In the end, he still chased after. The door slid shut again, and the medical station fell quiet. Instructor Chen handed the band-aid to me. Do you want to throw it away? I looked for a long time, and finally shook my head. Keep it. It's not that I can't bear to part with it. It's still useful. When we returned in the evening, the whole company was buzzing about one thing. Lin Simeon cried by the edge of the playground, saying that I deliberately flirted with the instructor and caused Zhou Yu to abandon her. Zhou Yu stood beside her, looking pale, but didn't explain for me. Someone saw me come back and started with sarcastic remarks at once. Shinjixia, are you enjoying the instructor's special treatment? No wonder Zhou Yu refused to sing with you. If it were me, I'd feel embarrassed too. I stood outside the crowd, the wound on my heel pulsing with pain. Instructor Chen wanted to speak, but I gently stopped him. I look at Zhou Yu and ask only one question. Do you think so too? Zhou Yu presses his lips tight. No. I know she isn't that kind of person. I just want her to bend a little. As long as she says she's uncomfortable, I'll protect her immediately. But after a few seconds of silence, he spoke softly. Qin Xixia, you and Instructor Chen really have gotten too close. The surroundings are quiet. Lin Simeon lowered her head, and the corners of her mouth gently curled. Zhou Yu continued, if you don't want others to misunderstand you, don't do things that cause misunderstanding. Instructor Chen's voice turned cold. Zhou Yu, watch your wording. Zhou Yu didn't even look at him, just stared at me. Qin Xixia, apologize now and this will be over. I lowered my head and took out the pack of band-aids he had crumpled in his grip from my pocket. Then, in front of everyone, I tore open the packaging and tossed it into the trash can beside me. Zhou Yu's face turned pale. In his mind, his inner voice fell silent for the first time, terrifyingly so. I looked up and saw the instructor beside the company commander, registering phones. Teacher, I want to apply to transfer platoons. Counselor stunned. Zhou Yu moved forward abruptly. Qin Xixia, you dare. I didn't look at him, just sent the pre-edited message to my dad. The moment the screen lit up, there was only one line of text on it. Dad, I agree to transfer to the defense regiment. After the message was sent, Zhou Yu's expression changed completely. The counselor held the registration form, hesitating as he looked at me. Qin Xixia, you can coordinate a transfer to another company, but you can't just decide to transfer to the defense regiment on a whim. Are you sure? I nod. I'm sure. Zhou Yu suddenly reached out to grab my phone. Are you crazy? Do you know how intense the National Defense Squad training is? Instructor Chen stepped in front of me, his voice dropping to a cold tone. Zhou Yu, step back. Zhou Yu stared at him, fire burning beneath his eyes. This is between her and me. It's none of your business. Instructor Chen didn't move. It's training time now. She's my student. Nobody around dared to speak. Lin Simeon stood among the crowd, eyes slightly reddened, softly said, Ji Xia, is it because of me that you want to change leagues? I can explain. Don't gamble your future out of spite. She spoke very softly, as if thinking of me in every way. But I saw her fingertips clenching the hem of her clothes. She's afraid I'll really leave, because once I go, there will be no one to play the villain for her in this act. I looked at her. You can explain right now. Lin Simeon was taken aback. I turned on the voice recording interface on my phone and placed it in front of her, saying, just go ahead. Her face froze. Zhou Yu frowned. Qin Xixia, are you done yet? See, Neon has already said she can explain, and yet you're still threatening her with this recording? But his inner monologue trembled furiously. Why is she recording? She never used to do this. Is she really going to drive things to the end? I looked at him. I'm just afraid she'll think I'm pressuring her again later. Lin Simeon's tears suddenly fell. Xixia, I really didn't mean it that way. Zhou Yu suddenly left me. I was alone over there. Everyone asked me what happened, and I just spoke the wrong thing for a moment. If you think I wronged you, I apologize. Such beautiful words. I haven't spoken yet, and Zhou Yu has already stepped in front of her. That's enough. She already apologized. I suddenly smiled. Zhou Yu, do you think that as long as she cries once, everything can be considered settled? He fell silent for a few seconds. Her ankle is injured. She's in a bad mood. An understated voice sounded in his mind. I know she's wrong, but why can't Qin Xixia give in for once? She used to always give in before. Again, the old days. I used to endure it because I thought that behind those harsh words was actually affection. Now I know that liking someone is not a get-out-of-death-free card. The counselor picked up my phone and saw the message from my dad in reply. If you've decided, go. Dad supports you. She sighed. Since the parents agree, I'll go talk to the academy. But Qin Xixia, you should know that the National Defense class isn't regular military training. Starting tomorrow, you'll have to move dormitories and begin training with them. I said, all right. Zhou Yu raised his head abruptly. Tomorrow? Instructor Chen spoke indifferently. Pack your stuff tonight and report at 6 tomorrow morning. Zhou Yu looked at me, as if finally realizing that this wasn't just a tantrum. Qin Xia, are you really going to leave? I didn't answer. He stepped forward, lowering his voice. Just because I didn't speak up for you earlier? His voice was nearly choked with emotion. Don't go. I can apologize. But with so many people watching, how can I bring myself to say it? I looked at him and asked calmly, do you think it was only just now? Zhou Yu froze. There are whispers around actually. Zhou Yu went too far before. Yeah. Constantly picking on Xinxixia. Who could stand that? These words fell on his ears, and his face turned a little pale. Seeing the situation turn bad, Lin Simeon immediately covered her ankle. Zhou Yu, my foot really hurts. Zhou Yu did not look at her immediately. For the first time, his gaze lingered on me, as if waiting for me to give him another chance to save face. But I don't want to give anymore. The counselor asked everyone to disperse, and Instructor Chen accompanied me to register to change the company duties. As we left the playground, Zhou Yu suddenly caught up from behind and grabbed my backpack strap. Qin Xixia. I stop. His voice was low. Don't go to the national defense class. You won't be able to handle it there. If I had said this earlier, I might have softened, because I could hear the worries in his heart. But the next moment, he said again, you've been spoiled since childhood. You'd cry even after running 800 meters. Don't embarrass yourself again later. I lower my gaze. As expected, Zhou Yu is like this. No matter how anxious he is inside, his words always cut like a blade. I slowly pulled the backpack strap back from his hand. Even embarrassment is my business. The corners of his lips moved. A belated, fragmented voice echoed in her mind. I'm sorry. But in reality, he said nothing. I turned around and followed Instructor Chen away. Behind her, Lin Simeon called out to him once more. This time, Zhou Yu didn't go home. On the night of moving dorms, I cleaned up very quickly. A few pieces of clothing, a pair of spare training shoes, a training manual, and those headphones that had been used for 3 years. My roommate sat on the edge of the bed, looking at me with a complicated expression. Xixia, you're really leaving? I pulled up the zipper of my suitcase. She hesitated for a moment, then said softly, actually, we also think Zhou Yu went too far. We just didn't dare to say anything before because we knew you two were close. I smiled. It's nothing. The better our relationship, the more it became his sharp-tongued excuse, and the chain that everyone defaulted me to bear. A commotion came from downstairs. Someone ran up and said Zhou Yu is waiting for me downstairs. My movements paused for a moment. My roommate looked at me immediately. Are you going down? I lifted the suitcase. Yes. If you don't make some things clear, he'll always think I'm just being dramatic. Downstairs in the dormitory, Zhou Yu leaned against a tree. He was holding medicine and new insoles. And when I came down he immediately stood up straight, handed over the bag, and his tone was still stiff. Here you go. Don't cry when your feet get sore later. The voice in my mind speaks cautiously. I asked the school nurse. For worn-out feet, you should use this. The insoles I bought are the softest. Will she accept it? If she accepts, it means she isn't that angry. I didn't receive it. Zhou Yu's hand stiffened in midair. Qin Xixia, what do you mean by this? There's no need. His expression darkened. I went out of my way to buy this for you. Thank you, but I don't need it. He stared at me, as if the phrase thank you stabbed him. Since when have you been so polite to me? I looked into his eyes. From the moment you publicly said I looked like a potato. He opened his mouth. My inner voice tangled into a mess. That was a joke. I'm just afraid others will like her. What he said, however, was, haven't you always known that this is how I talk? I murmured softly, so I don't want to listen anymore. Zhou Yu was completely stunned. Just then, Lin Simeon walked over from not far away. She was holding a cup of strawberry hot milk tea, her voice soft. Zhou Yu, why are you still here? Everyone is waiting for you to rehearse for tomorrow's evening performance. She saw me and seemed to just register. Ji Xia, don't misunderstand. Zhou Yu is just worried about you. After all, you grew up together. Zhou Yu frowned. What are you doing here? Lin Simeon's face went pale. She forced a smile. I was worried you'd be hungry. So I brought you some milk tea. Zhou Yu didn't receive it. His eyes fixed on me. If you leave today, don't regret it. I dragged the suitcase and moved forward. I won't. Zhou Yu grabbed my wrist with one hand. This time, he let go quickly, as if he remembered the red mark on my wrist. His voice lowered. Qin Ji Xia, what do you want me to do? I waited for 2 seconds, waiting for him to say what was on his mind, but he only pressed his lips together and stared at me fixedly. I turned and walked away. The suitcase wheels rolled over the cement ground, making a very soft sound. Behind me, Lin Simeon suddenly began to cry. Zhou Yu, do you like her? My steps did not stop, but I heard Zhou Yu fall silent for a long time, and finally he said, no. 2 characters, very light, yet they pressed the last bit of looseness in my heart completely flat. Defense platoon training is much heavier than ordinary company training. We gathered at 5:30 in the morning, did loaded runs, tactical crawls, and obstacle courses. By the end of the first day, my knees were all scraped and my palms had skin worn raw. Instructor Chen handed me iodine antiseptic. Can you hold on? I lowered my head to wipe the wound. Yes. He looked at me, silent for a moment. There's no need to prove anything to anyone. My movements paused. I'm not trying to prove it to him. I want to prove to myself, the one who is always trapped by his one sentence, that I don't just cry, and that I don't fail at everything if I'm not with him. Captain Chen didn't ask again, just saying that before tomorrow's extra training we should warm up first and not push too hard. On the way back to the dormitory at night, there were more than 10 unread messages from Zhou Yu in my phone. The last one was half an hour ago. I'm outside your training ground. I walked to the window and sure enough saw someone standing under the distant streetlight. Zhou Yu was wearing a black short-sleeved shirt, holding something in his hand. There was Lin Simeon beside him. She seemed to be crying, reaching out to pull him, but Zhou Yu didn't move. I closed the curtains. Roommate poked her head in to take a look. Is that your boyfriend? I shook my head. No. The phone vibrated again. I'll wait for you to come down. I flipped the phone over onto the table. The next day during training, Zhou Yu was really still there. He stood outside the chain-link fence watching me run laps. Lin Simeon came too, looking very unwell. During a break, she called to me through the fence. Qixia, come out for a moment. You can't deliberately keep him hanging just because you had a fight with Zhou Yu. Can you? Did you know he waited for you until dawn last night? The people from the surrounding defense squad all looked over. Zhou Yu's brows suddenly tightened. Lin Simeon, enough already. Lin Simeon's tears fell. Why don't you say anything? You won't even attend the party rehearsal for her. And everyone is asking if you dumped me. Qixia, you clearly know that he cares about you the most. Why do you still torture him like this? I walked over and looked at her through the iron fence. Lin Simeon, he cares about me. What does that have to do with you? She froze. I looked at Zhou Yu again. You wait for me. Did I make you wait? Zhou Yu's Adam's apple bobbed. I just want to see you. His inner thoughts were quiet. She's thinner. Why is her hand scarred again? I want to go in and hold her. But the next thing he spoke aloud was still piercing. Afraid you'll pretending, wear yourself out and end up in the hospital. I smiled wryly, lowering my head. If you've finished reading, you can go now. Zhou Yu's face turned pale. Instructor Chen walked over, holding a training log. Qin Xixia, report back to the team. I acknowledged with a reply. Zhou Yu suddenly spoke up. Qin Ji, are you meddling too much? Instructor Chen looked at him faintly. She is now in my training team. Zhou sneered. Just a training team. Do you really think you're someone to her? The air tightened suddenly. Instructor Chin had not spoken yet, so I spoke up first. At least he won't scold me as a potato in public. Zhou Yu stiffened. The faces of the people around the defense squad changed. Someone whispered that this was going too far. Seeing this, Lin Xinian quickly said that Zhou Yu was merely being stubborn. I looked at her. If you understand him so well, you'd better keep him for yourself. Lin Xinian's face turned pale. Zhou Yu seemed pierced by these words. Abruptly looking up. Qin Xixia. Say that again. I didn't pay him any more attention. The training whistle blew, and I turned to rejoin the team. Behind me, Zhou Yu's inner voice for the first time did not explain or talk back. There was only one sentence left. She really doesn't want me anymore. On the third night, the school holds a rehearsal for the military training show. The ordinary company and the national defense class both have to perform. When I followed the team onto the field, the edge of the playground suddenly fell silent for a moment. So it turned out that Zhou Yu and the others were still rehearsing the show. Lin Xinian stood at the front, wearing a white short skirt. Zhou Yu stood beside her holding a guitar, the one that had been smashed during the singing night. Someone stirred the crowd. Zhou Yu, afraid you won't be deaf this time? Singing love songs with Xin Mian is not embarrassing? Lin Xinian blushed, lowering her head. Zhou Yu did not laugh. He saw me, gave a hard pluck to the strings, the sound jarring. A voice inside my head echoed his words. It's not like that. I didn't want to sing with her. It was arranged by the teacher at the last minute. I refused, but they said the program was set. Lin Xinian held the microphone and spoke softly. Zhou Yu, shall we start? The accompaniment began, and it was a little happiness. My steps came to a halt. Zhou Yu's expression also changed. Lin Xinian, however, acted as if she hadn't noticed and began the first line. Her voice is sweet. Someone on the playground clapped. Zhou Yu delayed in delivering the next line. The team leader frowned. Zhou Yu, it's your turn. His knuckles tightened around the guitar. Finally, he spoke, but he stopped after singing only 2 words. Because Coach Chen walked over from the other side and handed me a bottle of water. Drink a little. Wait for your turn to go on stage. An ordinary gesture. Zhou Yu suddenly seemed stimulated, snatching off his guitar. Not singing anymore. Lin Xinian's singing cut off in midair. Zhou Yu? Zhou Yu placed the guitar aside, his voice cold and hard. Change of person. The team leading teacher's face was grim. The program list has already been reported. You say you want to switch and switch. Zhou Yu looked up. Then remove it. A hushed uproar surrounded them. Lin Simeo's tears welled up in an instant. Why? Is it because Ji Xia is here? Ji Xia, I know you hate me, but this is a show that everyone spent 3 days organizing together. You can't let Zhou Yu ruin it because of you. I looked at her. I didn't say a single word. She bit her lip. But you know Zhou Yu will care about you. This time, Zhou Yu finally spoke. Enough. Lin Xinian stared at him in disbelief. Zhou Yu did not look at her but turned to me, his voice hoarse. Qin Xixia, that night I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. The edge of the playground suddenly grew quiet. I was stunned for a moment too. This is his first time apologizing in front of people. But it was too late. I was late, and I didn't feel the relief I had imagined. Zhou Yu continued, you sing very well, and you're not embarrassing. His inner thoughts finally converged with reality. Sorry. I like you. I really like you. He opened his mouth as if to say the last sentence as well. Kulin Simon suddenly covered her chest. Her body went soft, and she toppled to the ground. The crowd became chaotic in an instant. Zhou Yu almost instinctively stepped forward and caught her. After Zhou Yu hugged Lin Xinian, he suddenly looked at me intently. His face was as pale as paper, and a rang in his mind. No, I just reacted instinctively. Qin Xixia, don't misunderstand. I didn't misunderstand. I just finally saw clearly that some habits are more honest than love. The school nurse quickly ran over to help Lin Xinian move away. Zhou Yu stood in place. wanting to chase after her, then looked at me again. This time, I made a choice for him. Go. His throat tightened. I won't go. I looked at him calmly. Zhou, stop pretending. As soon as the words fell, he seemed to be nailed to the ground. The rehearsal for the performance continued. When it was the defense squad's turn to go on stage, I followed the squad to the center of the playground. Instructor Chen stood at the front of the line. Commands clear. I faced forward, not a single step wavering. When I passed by Zhou, I didn't look at him, but I heard his inner thoughts. As if finally collapsing, I lost. It turns out she really won't look back. On the day of the official performance, the schoolyard was packed with people. The Defense Corps lineup took the main stage, while the ordinary company's arts program was arranged at the front. Lin Xinyan still went on stage in the end. Only the person next to her playing the guitar had changed. Zhou sat in the audience, his gaze fixed on the waiting area for the Defense Corps. I ignored him. After Inspector Chen finished inspecting the squad, he walked over to me. Are you nervous? I shook my head. Not nervous. He said, you've made a lot of progress these days. I smiled. Thank you. Not far away. Zhou heard these words and his fingers clenched the edge of the seat. His inner voice whispered softly, she can smile at anyone now, only not at me. On stage, Lin Xinyan finished singing, and the applause was sparse. The host was just about to move on to the next item when the screen suddenly flickered. Instead of the video showing the background for the performance, it suddenly displayed a transcription of a phone recording. Someone on the playground read the words aloud. Ji Xia, don't get the wrong idea. He just asked me at the convenience store what flavor I liked, and I casually mentioned strawberry. Zhou, why did you leave me there alone? Everyone is watching me get laughed at. If you think I wronged you, I apologize. A few sentences linked together, none heavy on their own, but placed on the same timeline. Anyone can see how obviously contrived Lin Xinyan's so-called innocence is. The audience begins to murmur. Lin Xinyan's face turned pale, looking toward the backstage, trembling with worry. Turn it off. Turn it off now. No one knows who released it by mistake, but I know that is the recorded compilation the counselor uses when investigating rumors. Now it appears on the big screen, probably because a student in charge of the equipment slipped. Lin Xinyan ran off the stage crying and ran up to Zhou. It's not like that. Zhou, you believe me? I just like you too much. Zhou looked up at her. In those eyes there was no longer the previous indulgence. So you pushed her out again and again? Lin Xinyan's tears fell more violently. But you assumed it too, didn't you? You clearly know that the words I said were because I was afraid you would not want me. Zhou's face instantly froze. People nearby could hear it as well. Yeah. What really embarrasses me is Zhou's repeated silence and acquiescence, and him personally handing the knife to someone else. He looked at me, his eyes frantic. Qin Xixia. At that time I didn't give him a chance to explain. The host has announced the entrance of the defense squad. Instructor Chen whispered, move. I stepped out in response to the call. The command rang out, and we stepped onto the field in neat, orderly lines. At that moment, all the chatter slowly ceased. I stood in the ranks, looking up to see my dad on the podium as well. He sits in the spectators' seat and nods to me gently. Cue displays, tactical movements, obstacle simulations, each one completed smoothly. When the last crawling motion ends, the applause suddenly erupts, louder than that night when we sang together. I stand up from the ground, my palms muddy and my knees aching. But for the first time, I felt I wasn't just someone's potato, nor a joke used to hide affection. I am Qin Xixia. After the performance ends, Zhou will wait for me at the exit. He held the guitar in his hand, and the crack on the body that was smashed that night still remained. He handed the guitar to me. I fixed it. I glanced at it. It's got nothing to do with me. His voice was hoarse. The other day, when I smashed it, it wasn't because I disliked your singing. I said, I know. Zhou's eyes brightened for a moment. I continued, and said, "I've always known." He stiffened. I looked at him and said word by word, "Zhou Yu, I can hear your inner voice." Leaves rustle at the exit through the wind. His face turned pale at that moment. Zhou Yu remained silent for a long time. The hand holding the guitar slowly tightened, the knuckles whitening. "What are you saying?" I calmly repeat. "Since you were little until now, whatever you're thinking in your heart, I can hear it all." His lips moved slightly, but his mind exploded into a chaotic roar. "She knows? She knows I like her. Then why would she leave?" I looked at him. "Because I heard your affection, and I also heard the insult you spoke aloud." Zhou Yu's eyes reddened. "I'm not doing it on purpose. I just..." He paused. Perhaps even he himself realized how powerless that explanation sounded. I finished it for him. "You're just afraid others will know you like me. Afraid of losing face." His complexion turned whiter. "But Zhou Yu, the one you shamed in public is me. The one who is laughed at by others is me. The one you have repeatedly pushed in front of Lin Sinian to yield is also me." He opened his mouth. "Sorry." These 3 words were finally spoken. No words spoken. No stubbornness to hide. Just too late. I looked at the guitar in his hand. "Do you remember that cultural performance in elementary school?" Zhou Yu froze. "I sang off key and was laughed at by the whole class. You stood up and said my singing sounded like a duck, making everyone laugh even harder. I know you were trying to help me at heart. But after that day, I never dared to volunteer to sing again." Zhou Yu's tears suddenly dropped. He lowered his head in a panic, as if he didn't want me to see. "Qin Xixia. I don't know. You know." I cut him off. "You just think that as long as you like me in your heart, I should understand." He was completely speechless. In the distance, Lin Simeon was called away by the counselor for a talk. Her rumors caused a bad influence. After the performance, the school punished her and canceled the selection of outstanding students. She came to Zhou Yu in tears once, but Zhou Yu did not meet her. Later, I heard she transferred to another company platoon, training with her head bowed every day, and she never dared to pull someone into trouble again. As for Zhou Yu, he became much quieter after that day, no longer making jokes in public, no longer disguising concern with humiliation. He began to learn to speak properly. Between people, some words come too late. They are not compensation, just an echo. The day the defense class training ended, Instructor Chin invited everyone to drink water. He handed me a bottle of room temperature mineral water. "Is your foot better?" I nodded. "Better." He smiled a little. "Keep singing in the future. You sing very well." I gripped the bottle and suddenly smiled as well. "Okay." Not far away, Zhou Yu stood under a tree and saw the scene, his eyes darkening. His inner voice came through softly. "She is really okay now. It's just not related to me anymore." I do not look back. On the last day of military training, the school allowed parents to enter the campus to take photos. My dad held the camera and took many pictures. He saw that I had tanned and didn't say he felt sorry for me. He just laughed and said, quite spirited. I hooked my arm with his and walked outside. Zhou Yu suddenly caught up. "Uncle." My dad stopped. Glancing at him, Zhou Yu lowered his head, his voice hoarse. "Sorry. I didn't take good care of Xixia before." My dad was silent for 2 seconds. "It's not my business to interfere in your kids' affairs." Zhou Yu's eyes brightened a little, but in the next moment, my dad said again, "But my daughter doesn't need anyone to take care of her in a hurtful way." The light in Zhou Yu's eyes had completely faded. My dad took my hand and kept walking forward. Nearing the school gate, Zhou Yu's voice came from behind. "Qin Xixia." I paused for a moment. He stood in the sun, holding that guitar with cracks. "I won't talk like that again." I nodded. "That's good." His throat tightened. "Then I cut him off. "Zhou Yu." He looked at me. "You'll be better in the future. But not for me." The wind blew along the campus path, and the shadows of the trees fell across his face. His eyes reddened, but he didn't pursue any further. That night, There was a dinner party at the dorm. Someone started urging me to sing. Holding the microphone. For the first time I didn't instinctively look at Zhou. When the music started, I heard my own voice, very steady and sounding quite good. In the middle of singing, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Zhou. Sorry. I looked at it for 2 seconds, then didn't reply. I just flipped the phone face down on the desk and finished singing that song. The lights on the playground outside the window were lit one by one. A long time ago, I thought when someone liked you, you should tolerate all their awkwardness and hurts. Later I realized, genuine liking won't make you lower your head in a crowd, nor will it drag an apology until you no longer need it. The song ended and friends smiled and clapped. I narrowed my eyes and passed the microphone to the next person. Night wind blew in through the crack of the window, carrying the scent of grass from the September playground. I lowered my head and took a sip of water. Room temperature. Just right.